Welcome to Unleashed. We're going to go into spoilers right now. So if you do not want anything to be spoiled, I mean, these might not even be factual spoilers. We don't know. You should probably head on out right now because we're going to talk about something that might be happening. It's making its way around the interwebs. Yeah, so this is going to be a half and half video. This is going to be chopped up and played later. But if you're watching live, keep going on the live chat if you don't care about what's going to be going on with our discussion. And we'll go back to you also later on, and we'll do our trivia question for you guys that need it. Also, okay, so here we go. Andrew Fantasia has no idea what I'm about to say, but this has been making the rounds here. Sorry, just removing a chat because I had a request, so I did. There we go. Here we go. Rey's father has been revealed. Rey's mother has not been revealed. Andrew, you ready?
Who said this?
Well, I don't know who said this, but this is making its rounds, and
Where does this come from?
It's all over the Twitter. Everyone's talking about it. It's online. You can Google it if you want. But nobody with any inside information has confirmed this as of yet, and maybe they never will, because maybe this is bogus, which I think you're going to be on that pathway. But I'll say this. When The Last Jedi ended, Josh from the Den of Nerds gave me a call, and he said, that was Reylo, right? That was Reylo. But when I finished watching the movie in my theater, my wife stood up on one side of me, and my mother stood up on the other side of me. And they both turned, and they said these words to me about Rey and Kylo Ren. So they're brother and sister, right? Both of them said that to me. So this new rumor that is circulating right now is saying that Rey's father is none other than Han Solo. However, her mother is not Leia. And when Ben discovered this, that is when he turned to the dark side. And he kind of went all AWOL. Now, I can't see that all playing out because the timeline doesn't work out, especially when you factor in Bloodline and The Last Jedi, how he kind of... Well, you know what? No, I got to scratch The Last Jedi because we don't know what's going on in Ben Solo's mind in those scenes in The Last Jedi when he's laying down, when Luke is like, oh, this is going to be bad. We don't know why. Maybe he knows all this, but he's teaching himself to be calm, So anyway, Andrew, you just heard this rumor for the very first time. What do you make of that? Miles says Unkar Plutt is Rey's father. Good night.
Okay, here's the thing. If this happens, if this is real, and they do it well, you know, they give it like a really cool reveal, they make it big and emotional and powerful, I will like it. I'll be like, wow, you did it. You, like, that is a curveball, but you made it work. Bravo. I'll be okay. However, regardless of how well they do it, even if it's spectacular and it's so emotional and beautiful that I'm like bawling my eyes out while this reveal happens, people are going to lose their minds in a bad way. Lots of people, like lots of other Star Wars fans. Not to spoil Game of Thrones for you or anything, James, but on Game of Thrones, when a character who was initially a good person did something really, really bad, people went ballistic. They said the show ruined their childhood. You know, there's death threats being sent to the writers, and there was a boycott to cancel the whole season and make it not canon. And that's Game of Thrones, who, you know, as vibrant and as loud as its fans are, it's nowhere near the fan base of Star Wars. If you tell some of those really vicious, like loud, boycott-heavy Star Wars fans that Han Solo essentially cheated on his wife, again, no matter how beautifully they do it, those people are going to burn down J.J. Abrams' house, and I don't want anybody to burn down J.J. Abrams' house. So I would strongly suggest that as much as I think it could be done well, I would suggest they maybe be careful, when it comes to things like this. And I'm not even a huge, Han Solo's not in my top 5 characters. He might not even be in my top 10. So, it's not like it's sacred for me. It's not like I would be appalled at this news. But I still, I know that is touchy for people. So even I'm worried that is going to turn heads just in a very negative way.
I gotta say, when in The Force Awakens, my least favorite line is, "Oh, you think of Han Solo as a father, he would just disappoint you," because that to me is like a '90s Free Willy line, like the deadbeat dad from the '90s that they always had. And I just was like, really, you're gonna bring that into this? Okay, fine, I guess, whatever. I don't like the idea. The problem is if it's not. If Leia and Han, there's more than one problem, but I'll go with this problem. If Han is the father and Leia is not the mother, then why, especially with Carrie Fisher not being in this movie, it just seems so harsh, because we've got an answer to this question already. Whether you think it's satisfying or not, we got an answer. They're nobodies. They sold you for drinking money. You could just play that out. That could just be the answer. Oh, yeah, and by the way, what's Carrie Russell's name? Zori Bliss? Zori Bliss?
Yep.
She could be the one that dropped Rey off and was like, yeah, you know what? Your parents sold you to Unkar Pled. I delivered you to them, and that's the end of your story. That's it. You're nothing. For me, you're just a paycheck. That could all play out. That's how it could be. But if you separate Han and Leia like that, it's already it already sucks that they were separate when we met them in The Force Awakens. It already was oh, that sucks. Why? Because she went to what she was good at, and he went to what he was good at after Ben turned, not before Ben turned. We are told in the movie after Ben turned. Right? I'm saying that right? That's the timeline of it.
I believe so, yeah.
Because they're together in Bloodline, but they're kind of separate paths, but they are together. He spoiler alert, he rescues her in Bloodline. They're together still. There's no animosity. They're not separate. It's been the longest they have been apart is 6 years max, which is how long Luke has been max on the island. That Bloodline in chronological order is probably the most important book, because any question you have about anything, you look to that book and you're like, well, Rey can't be Leia's child, because Rey would have been 9 or whatever in the flashbacks. This is 6 years before, which means she'd have to at least be 3 years old when Bloodline takes place. So Rey's already born when Bloodline is taking place. So that's one of the many issues with the theory. Now, I don't want to get anybody's nervous. I don't actually have a problem if she were to... I don't have a problem with most of the theories on anything, to be honest. And I don't have a problem with Rey being Han Solo's child, because in The Force Awakens there is that connection between them, and Han keeps giving her those looks, and you kind of felt like, oh, they're leading us to something. And if that something is just that it was a father figure, so that when he died it had more impact on us watching it through her eyes, it didn't work out that way to me. I don't think they succeeded there, but okay, fine, that's fine. I can live with that. I already have lived with that, so it's not a big deal. But for whatever they give me in terms of Rey, whether it is the status quo or it is a Porg or Jar Jar or Kitster. I mean, Kitster might be her father. We don't know. Whatever they give, I'm just hoping that it is done. It is executed in a good, proper, satisfying way, which is the word J.J. Abrams used at a charity event a few months ago before Celebration. For all that, he said, I'm hoping fans are satisfied.
Here's a question for you, James, because you're not a fan of the line in Force Awakens where Maz Kanata says to Han, "Who's the girl?" and they cut away. If it ends up being the case that Han is her father, let's say now, looking back at that, with that context, do you think, you could forgive that line, if it's in the sort of context where, Maz looked at her and she, because she's a wise lady, she could tell, maybe she knows about whatever this fling is that Han had, and it's kind of accusatory at this point. She's looking at him and she's like, Han, who's the girl? Knowing full well that that's his flesh and blood. Do you think that context added to that line will make you sit back and be like, you know what? Okay, I'm cool with Maz saying that.
Oh, absolutely, 100%. You know that. Why do you even ask me that question? My problem with that line is it goes nowhere and it's never addressed in any capacity whatsoever, ever. And it's like, well, who is she? She's nobody. So why not just have Han say she's nobody? That is what irritates me the most. If she's somebody and Han knows it and they're holding out on it, and then we'll find out what that is, well played. But my problem is, if it wasn't J.J. Abrams writing and directing this last movie, would that ever have been addressed? Not that it even has been addressed, but do you know what I mean? Like, that's where, for me, that, like, and Maz Kanata is another, for me, a problem character where she just kind of changed character. I hope Maz goes back to that Maz Kanata from Force Awakens and Battlefront 2. I love Maz Kanata in Battlefront 2. And I think I love Solo, but I think it was a missed opportunity to not have her in Solo at some point. But 100%.
That's why she'll be in Solo too.
Yeah, hashtag make Solo 2 happen. I think though, if they make Rey something to justify that line, that line is. Then I have no problem with that line. It's the fact that if she is a nobody and her parents were nobodies and everything was nobody, which is fine. Then why not just have, like, why bother with that, keeping that mystery? It's like having Matt Smith in or not in this movie. It's useless. It's like, because once, like, in The Force Awakens, it works. But once all 3 movies are done, you're like, you watch it back, you go, well, that's a dumb line. Like, why even bother asking? Like, why? So why do you get me riled up?
How's that chat looking?
A good Ghost World just said, well, James, every director wants the movie viewers to be satisfied. It's true. But I think it was important that he said that, though, because he knows how a lot of people felt about The Last Jedi. He knows. And
yes.
And I think especially when we live in this post-Endgame world where you're like, there are people complaining about it, but I think a lot of people were satisfied by that. And I think that's where we have to stand right now. And look, if you make Han Rey's father and Leia not the mother, I don't know if that satisfies people or pisses people off.
Well, were a lot of people, like, I genuinely don't know this, were a lot of people, like, really pissed that Force Awakens didn't have them together as a couple? Like, were a lot of people really upset that they were sort of doing their own thing? Was that a big controversy?
I don't think it was a big thing, but I just think that if Han has an affair, like, you just gave the guy a Solo movie.
That of course, that's it's just, the separation in Force Awakens is just, I was curious because I was like, I don't remember hearing too many people like really hating on the movie because of that, and like even like I obviously live and breathe Star Wars. And when I saw that, I wasn't like, this is BS. I hate this now. They're supposed to be together. Like, it didn't upset me. And then I think to something like Jurassic Park 3, it upset me that Grant and Sadler were no longer a couple. That upset me because I was like, we spent, the first movie watching them work out their troubles, and now in movie 3 they're not a couple. So I'm so like curious as to why that upset me when I really don't have anything invested in Jurassic Park. I just like it a lot. And something I do invest a lot in is Star Wars. Like, it didn't really bother me one way or the other. I'm just baffled by that. I just thought of that right now. I don't know why that is. If you know why, write in to Rebel Scum Podcast.
I just really don't like the line, he disappointed you. He was a deadbeat dad. Why? Like, I don't know. Like, to justify you turning bad, I think, Anyway, they're brother and sister. I think that's a fact. And look, if the hand touching scene is the closest thing Star Wars is going to get to sex, as Rian Johnson said, then they have to be brother and sister. That's how Star Wars works.
Mm. Well, unless Benioff and Weiss pull some sex position in their trilogy, because we know that they're pretty well versed in doing those kinds of scenes.
Just chatting away. Good live chat today. Thanks so much for commenting and chatting, guys. It's so much fun. That's what makes the live stream fun.
Thank you.
Is just hearing your points of view and telling us that we're morons, because obviously they are cousins, because Rey is Luke's daughter. Nobody wrote that. I just made that up. But to go back, the reason why I wanted to talk to you about this rumor and this, I don't really want to call it a theory, but this theory, I guess, that somebody pointed out, is because in the Vanity Fair article, it said that Rey and Kylo Ren were connected, had a deeper connection than we know. And the Reylo crowd has run over that and been like, yep, they're in love, the end. However, like I said, there are a bunch of people that don't factor in the Reylo. They don't even know that that's a thing. There are people out there that don't know it's a thing. Mm-hmm. And if they read that, what do they go immediately to where they're related? Like, is that where their mind goes? Or are they besties? Like, where does that take them? And I find that line super curious, and one that I'm going to be thinking about for a long time, because we know they're connected, but now it's deeper than we realized. And if Kylo Ren never puts on that mask, and he is in the desert with Rey from the beginning, because I think that Pisana stuff is early on in the movie. I think that scene kicks off the rest of the scene. And spoilers again, this is just our spoiler show. There is a GIF that I saw, I think it was the Girls with Sabers kind of put this out there, where 3PO, Poe, Rey, Finn, they're all in like this cave, and they turn to see somebody, and there's a reflection in C-3PO's head. Is it his head? His helmet? Whatever that is. He turns, and there's a red glow on his cheek that could be from a lightsaber.
Where did they get that gift from?
That's a great question. They never answer my question, but I've seen it because I commented, like, where did you get this from? And they were like, blocked. Nothing to block, just joking.
Can you send that to me?
Yeah, it's on Twitter. I'll have to go back to a month ago from Star Wars Celebration and find it. I'll send them a message. Okay. I'll send them a message. Actually, I'm doing an Outlander Club with them on Wednesday, and I'll ask them if they can send that for me.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Maybe Rey is a clone of Kylo. How about that? Heidi Fetters says. Maybe that. What do you think of that?
Ooh. Maybe. Like, I personally, I don't think we're gonna have clones anymore. I really don't. Not that I have anything against clones. I feel like it's just not happening in this trilogy. I don't know what this. I have a feeling just this line about this connection. I think it's something that it's smaller than they're making it sound. You know what I mean? Like this is Vanity Fair writing this, if I'm not mistaken. Like they're not necessarily quoting anybody. I think they're just saying like, according to Disney, the Kylo and Rey connection is going to be deeper than we ever imagined. Like I think that's just sort of hype. I think it's like the equivalent of saying, the next Star Wars is going to be the biggest and boldest one yet. Maybe it's not the biggest and boldest one, but it just feels like hyperbole. That's just how I saw that line. I don't know. Maybe I was just too focused on the pictures, but when I read that, I was like, okay, cool. Next, show me what Jana's bow looks like. That line just completely did nothing for me. So I don't know. I don't see anything there myself.
I cannot wait for this movie.
No.
I think that what they're saying about the connection is true. It might not be over the top, but there's something up with those two. And look, if let's say for argument's sake, Mr. Fantasia, that I'm right, and this Pisana stuff takes place early on, they got a lot of pictures of Adam Driver there. I mean, maybe they flew him in for the shoot, or maybe he was there. Why would he be at the beginning of the movie with our heroes?
Yeah. Well, this is going to be a 3.5 hour long movie, so there's a lot of stuff he could be doing.
Sorry. Miles likes the idea of R2 being shut down at the end. Now I'm gonna cry.
Oh,
that one
break my heart.
It is
break my heart.
That is a sad ending. I think it's an appropriate ending, though, if I'm being honest. That's how I feel.
Actually, no. You know what? I think Pisana might not be the beginning, because I think if I remember right, the beginning is the jungle.
Yes, no.
The jungle planet that we saw.
No, not the opening of the movie. What I think happens is they say goodbye to Leia, and Leia buggers off to whatever Leia's going to do, and then they go to Pisana, and Pisana kicks off the events of the film. Basically, like whatever they get there, is what takes us on our journey. That's where my head's at right now. Yeah. Okay.
Cool.
That's.
And we don't know what that jungle planet is called yet, so that's interesting. There's still more to learn. I like that.
It's the second forest moon of Endor. Second. Yeah, a lot to learn. There's so much to unravel here. We're just trying to scratch the surface, get you guys engaged, talk with you guys. Oh, my rabbit has come to join me right now. Hi, Carlos. He just bit my hair on my leg. I'm wearing shorts. A lot to unpack in this 7 months going in. We love doing these live streams with you guys. We love commenting beside. You guys might see this video if you're on the live stream. This is going to go up tomorrow separately on everything. It's been a lot of fun. Andrew, before we end the Unleashed portion of this, never tell me the odds Rey and Kylo being related by blood. Okay, so before you answer, Side Akbar, you're not in the Reylo camp, but is it ever something that you think of? Or are you just like not involved in that?
Yeah, it's not really ever something that I think of. I don't even really think of Reylo that much, to be honest, even though that's like the big thing. I just like the idea of these two characters separately. Like, I love what they stand for separately when they're not sharing scenes with each other. And when they do share scenes, it's great because they have these cool scenes, especially in The Last Jedi. But I love Rey and Kylo for what they do when they're not with each other. I love them for the scenes that we see them in when Rey's just being Rey and Kylo's just being Kylo. So their connection, even though like it's something that we endlessly theorize about, it's just never something that is really at the forefront of my mind. It's just like, I can't wait to see Rey and I can't wait to see Kylo, and they'll probably have scenes together because that's how it works, but fine, great. Are they related by blood? I'm going to say 14%.
14.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm just engaged in the chat.
Maybe I could be persuaded to up it to like 16, but I think that's where I would draw the line.
Yeah, I'm going to not answer this question.
Cop out.
Yeah, I'm going to go... Should I just full bracket? Because that's the ultimate cop out. Here's my thing.
Yeah.
I totally get both sides of fandom. The Reylo side and the non-Reylo. Like, I get them both, and I understand it both, and I'm not like married to either one of them, so I'm okay with whatever happens. I think for me, it's not about blood; it's about their connection, and those two are the driving force behind whatever is happening. And I think that driving force is whatever is behind SheVP's master plan, and it involves those two for a specific reason. And it could be Rey because of Rey's connection with Jakku, and it could be that she was near one of his hut things that he had there as observatories, and maybe she fell in one day, and like the Flight of the Navigator movie, the great movie from the 80s, she accidentally fell in an observatory, and then he flew her around with Pee-wee's voice and all that fun stuff. And there's a reason why she has been chosen, and there's a reason why the son of a Skywalker was chosen. and there's a reason why Skywalker is going to rise, and if it is because Rey has to stop that rise, or if the rise of the Skywalker is doom and gloom, oh man, we're going to find out in 7 months.
Yes, we are. Actually, almost 7 months to the less than 7 months to the day, actually. So we're doing okay for us. I think in like a few days it'll be 200 days till the rise of Skywalker.
Ooh, we're getting there.
So yeah, you're getting there.
Oh, happy Memorial Day to our American friends.
Yes, happy Memorial Day.
Yeah, we had a day off. Stan Solo's on. Stan, hello. Just saying hi. Patreons. Gotta shut up. Like I said, guys, chat's unbelievable today. Love doing it. Love talking with you guys. Love hearing what you have to say down there. I am wearing glasses and I'm blind, so I have to squeeze and look in. I think it's just going to end as a tragic love story. And Nessa, thank you. Thanks, Nessa. All right, Andrew, you want to wrap this up?
Yes, I do. Let me consult my show notes here. For the I don't have anything in the notes for the wrap up.
How about let's go back to our trivia question.
Yes, trivia question. If you didn't catch it the first time, here it is. What is the species of Mr. Ben Quadaneros, the second greatest pod racer to ever hit the Booty Classic and Malastare?
And also our Legends Row, you can go on Twitter and go on this poll right now on the Twitter for our Legends Row Week 3. We got Ben Quadaneros, Clegg Holdfast, Rats Tyrell, and Gazgano. Rats has 0% of the votes right now, so somebody needs to get on there and vote for Rats. Gazgano has 14%. Clegg Holdfast has 29% of the votes. And everyone's favorite, and the one who would have won the Bounty Classic had his pod worked properly, Ben Quadaneros is leading the pack with 57%. I have not had a chance to vote yet. Let me go on and put in my vote for Rats because, Skip Bayless.
Yeah, that's who it's going towards.
Bam! Ben Quadaneros has just bumped up to 63%. Andrew, let's see where you could put.
I'm going to go up right now. Here I go. Hold on. Twitter. I apologize for my slow-ass internet. Where are we here? Okay. Who do you select for this week's? Oh, no, it's not coming up. Hold on. No, here we go. All right. Let me just click there. Vote. Okay. My vote's locked in.
Your vote doesn't count. Did you go with Clegg? Who'd you go with? It hasn't updated.
Because he's the coolest one.
Yeah, it hasn't updated on my thing yet, so... nobody vote for Gasgano because he sucks. All right, let's say good night to everybody. This has been the Rebel Scum podcast, Flying Casual, and also a special Unleashed as well going in for everybody. So thanks so much for watching. Andrew, thank you for joining me once again. Can't wait to do this next week.
Thank you, James. You can find me on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Andrew Fantasia, and my YouTube channel, which is also called Andrew Fantasia. If you were disappointed by Game of Thrones Season 8, I have a video coming out, if not tomorrow, then Wednesday, on my YouTube channel. You all know I like to write. You all know I've got my book here, Mr. Side Scroller, right here. Let me just pick it up. You all know I write. So on this upcoming episode on my channel, I'm doing a video essay. Yeah, James got it too. I'm doing a video essay called If I Wrote Game of Thrones Season 8. And it's just basically what I would have changed, what I would have kept the same. So if you hate the season, maybe you'll like what I have to offer. And if you like what I have to offer, then you'll definitely like this because it's just me offering things on a page. 628 times. This is a long book.
It is. It's a good book, though.
That's what I'm up to.
It is on Amazon, and you can find him at a local bookstore in Ontario, Canada. Coming at you. All right, guys, thanks so much for watching. Thank you for all the live chat comments. It means a lot to us. Please give us a like and a subscribe. We never remember to say that off the top. We should start saying it off the top. And until next time, may the force of others be with you.
Hey scumbags, thanks for watching. Don't forget to give us a thumbs up on our video. As always, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, Rebel Scum Podcast, for all the latest videos.